So I decided to try out Negative on the Spring of Sorrow Onslaught, not for any particular objective, but more just for fun, just to scratch my Negative itch, cause I haven't really been using him a whole lot lately, largely due to the fact that he wasn't the greatest for the previous Battlegrounds meta, but I still used him for a couple of fights. It's just Tenacity was removing a couple of degen debuffs. Even in Alliance War, this was the first time I went a full season without using him since I started using him regularly, just because I had much better counters for the fights I was taking. I didn't run Part 5 at all for a change, so there was just no need for him besides one or two mini-bosses. But anyway, today I have a pretty clean Onslaught solo, so despite having Suicide Masteries on, I still finished with over 90% health, just because I didn't parry or block in this fight, so no Daunted debuffs which do shut down your willpower healing, which is kind of important if you're running Suicides without a champ with cleanse or immunities. And you will be inflicted with other debuffs in this fight, which usually isn't nice, but if you can deal with them and not parry, then they'll just add to the willpower healing. So Negative works pretty well for this fight because of his heavy evade, which counterattacks, so it counts as an intercept, which makes it easy to safely remove those power sting debuffs. However, we still have some seriously annoying AI issues. Like, you'll see a lot of the time when I hold the heavy attack, I hold it for so long that it ends up whiffing because Onslaught is just being too passive, not attacking into me, despite making myself completely vulnerable, and this has been an issue for quite a while now. I think it started about 1.5 years ago at least, because before that this rarely used to happen. I think I only experienced it maybe once or twice, but ever since 2023 it's been happening almost every time I use him in Alliance War. On average, I'd say it happens maybe once in every 6 fights, which is a lot and a massive difference to how it used to work. I've actually died once or twice and have had some very close calls purely because of the AI. In fact, if it weren't for that, I probably would have gotten this solo in the first 2 or 3 attempts, but instead I was getting rocked by the slot after dropping my heavy attack. And that just makes it very discouraging to even want to use Negative. I think it affects him more than any other champ in the game. Maybe also Cassie, because she needs fuel to hold the heavy, although she is a lot more forgiving with the taunt and all the other debuffs. But now it just feels like there's an inherent risk to using Negative, although I'm still gonna do it because he is still my favorite champ. And honestly, I don't think I would be as enthusiastic about this game if it weren't for him, because to me, Negative is him. Like, he is just that guy. He might not be the best or even top 5 science champs in the game, but he's just so cool. The way he moves, the attention to detail in his animations, the playstyle is fun as hell, and he's just really potent at what he does. Like, this Onslaught has the dulled node, which lowers your crit rating by 50% for each buff on you and debuff on Onslaught, and you get a lot of those resistance buffs from dexing specials, and Negative places a lot of debuffs on his own, so you can't really rely on your big yellow numbers unless you have guaranteed crits. And Onslaught does have resistance to bleed, shock and incinerate effects, which are arguably the 3 most common forms of damage over time, at least for big damage, so there are very limited ways to deal a good amount of damage to him in a short period of time. However, he is not resistant to degen, which is Negative's primary source of damage, and that's where the potency comes from, because very few things are actually resistant to degen, and I don't think anything is flat out immune to it, although it is still a debuff, so it can be purified or cleansed. But that's where the special 3 comes in if it's health appropriate, because that's just pure passive direct damage. So what I like about this fight is that it's not too champion specific, although some champs will have a much easier time than others. But the main difficulty or challenge comes from dealing with these special attacks. Like, if you can fully dex these specials consistently, then the fight does become a lot easier. Then it's just a matter of getting in your openings and surviving for long enough to take him down. So yeah, that's about it for this one. Hope you found it interesting, and as always, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.